Hey, my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to another episode of Fiona's Coffee Talks. And as always, I like to start off every day with a fresh, hot, black cup of coffee. Hold the cream! I'd love to. And of course, I think of my favorite quote of the century by Oscar Wilde, which says, "Life is too important to be taken seriously, so lighten up, folks." Okay, so today's story is, drumroll, guess. Happy Easter! Yay! Me with all my bitch bunnies all over the place, including this big bitch bunny. So, when I do these story times, I always say, like, my favorite whatever. So, because now this is my second story time Easter, I got to tell my second favorite Easter story. But before I even dive into that, I just wanted to give a quick little personal history of mine. I don't talk about religion much at all, primarily because it's just... I don't want to say a sore subject, but I was baptized Catholic, and then when I was very, very young, like 2, 3 years old, I started studying with the Jehovah's Witnesses. So, as a Jehovah's Witness, they don't celebrate anything. So, as a child, the three things that you would always hear is, "Oh, what are you going to wear for Easter?" Well, we didn't celebrate Easter, so that was never anything that I had to be concerned with. But then it was also about, like, what did you get for Christmas? What did you get for your birthday? But since I didn't celebrate any of that, those three things were never really a factor in my life. So I'm going to do a video in about a month where I'm going to speak more into about the whole religion thing, because I did have an experience on set not too long ago that sort of opened up that can of worms. But that's going to be that story. And then the other little point with those, with the whole religion and all of that was, I've always been open about the fact that growing up in grammar school, I was bullied and picked on, called faggot, all of that, which was fine with me because it's not like I ever got beat up, and I would always say shit back. But it's funny too, because as a Jehovah's Witness, I also got picked on because of that. But that's a whole other situation. So that's enough of that. I just wanted to give my brief history. So, second favorite Easter story. I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, shit, the first one was really quite great because it was back in 1997 when I was in Sydney, Australia, visiting these two guys that I was with. And that particular Easter Sunday, we went to this beautiful church. I did my video on it last year, so check it out. It was really good, I thought. And the one thing that I remembered specifically was how moved I was and how emotional I was that day. And even when I was telling the story a year ago, I got a little emotional telling the story and reliving it, because it was quite wonderful. So I'm like, how do I top that? So then I thought, I was speaking to one of my best friends, Bunnies. Hey, Bunnies. Look, girl, you everywhere. So anyway, Bunnies, who lives in Denver, we met like 20 years ago. So 20 years ago when we first met, those first couple of years, I was going there all the time and we were hanging out. He would come here. And so when I was talking to him today, I was like, shoot, I got to do my Easter video, but I don't know what my second favorite thing is. And I didn't want to get too much into like religion or all of that. And then he reminded me that early on when we met, way back when, we met 2002, so 20 years ago. So 2003, that Easter, I went to Denver and I would stay with him, and I was there for about a week. And it just so happened that particular Easter I was there. And it's not like I specifically went there because it was Easter. It just worked with my schedule that's when I could go there. So, and of course he's Catholic, so, he always celebrated Easter and all of that. I didn't. So, and then I even remember as a child, like feeling like missing out and like the activities surrounding it, like, literally like boiling eggs and painting them and the dressing up and going to church. Like that was never anything that was part of my life. So it was really cute because that particular Easter, he was like, "Oh, let's paint eggs and decorate the place and make it look all Eastery." So I was like, "Oh, okay." So we literally like bought, those like egg painting kits and boiled a dozen eggs, and then we literally on that Easter we were like painting eggs and decorating, and then like went out for a nice meal or whatever. But he reminded me of that, and I remember how that particular Easter, it was so like wonderful and magical because I didn't have that as a child. So I felt like I was like a little kid all over again, painting eggs and decorating, and wasn't much of an Easter egg hunt because it's not like we hid them. He lives in a 2-bedroom condo. But just the mere fact that, like, something that in my childhood I never ever got to experience, and I always kind of felt, I don't want to say that I missed out on it, but yeah, I guess, as a child, I would get, I guess, a little jealous when I would hear all of my friends talking about all the festivities and all the fun that they had. And just the mere thought of painting an egg, but it was wonderful that I was actually able to do it. And to date, I can honestly say that Easter, which was 2003, which I would have been, how old was I in 2003? Oh, let's see, 38, I guess. That's been still the one and only time that I ever painted eggs. So that particular Easter will mean everything to me, because that Easter was, symbolizes for me what everyone else that I knew growing up did year after year after year as a child. So, at almost the age of 40, I was able to find that inner child and paint some eggs. I've never had a problem finding eggs, but painting them is a whole other, so with, paint anyway. So anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. It was wonderful. Bunnies, thank you so much for reminding me of that. And for making me have a childhood memory at such a ripe old age that I always kind of wish that I would have had at least one time. And I did have it the one time. So for that, I can't thank him enough. Okay, so if you like what I had to say, as always, give a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not. I love you guys for being here. My favorite part of these videos now also is the setup. And all of these decorations that you see, Dollar Tree, honey, that bitch saved my life. There's a Dollar Tree about 6 blocks from where I live here. And I've been in this building over 25 years, and I just discovered it. I always knew it was there, but I never walked in till about a little over a year ago. And then I see all these decorations, and I'm like, I need these for my YouTube video. So I'm going to do a separate video on how Dollar Tree saved my life. Some fucked up shit like that. All right, guys. Love you. Bye. Happy Easter.